The consumption of explicit content almost cost me everything. I just recently got engaged at 21 years old, and it was a process. I've realized that in order to be in right standing with the Lord, before I got on the knee to propose to my girlfriend, I needed to get right with God. And the desires of my flesh had to be eliminated. I had to literally starve the very thing that held me bound. I realized that, okay, I want to give my girl the dream of her rings, but I'm 21 and change is strange and money is funny. I don't have the funds. I don't have the expenses. So I got to get that dog in me. I got to work. I got to grind. But I realized that my sin was blinding me from provision. And I didn't know that because I'm like, well, as a man of God, I'm not smoking, I'm not drinking, I'm not out in the club, I'm not spending money on frivolous stuff. All I deal with is corn. But God was like, okay, deal with it. And I realized that a man who is double-minded is unstable in all of his ways. What was holding me back from the abundance and the blessings and the doors that God had to open for me was the fact that I was allowing my sin to thrive in secret. And so I'm being honest and real open and transparent with you guys because my consumption of explicit content literally almost cost me my relationship with my wife. And I'm telling y'all this because at 21 years old, I'm not telling you that my age is justified. Oh, he's young, he's learning, he's growing. No, bruh, let me tell you something. It's dangerous. It's so dangerous. And I've noticed that as a man who wants to walk into a covenant, a healthy covenant, blameless, where I will literally vow to her to be committed to her for the rest of my life till death do us part, I cannot walk into that knowing that I've made spiritual exchanges with other women outside of her. And it didn't have to be physically. When you offer your seed up to someone else, you cannot expect to be faithful to your woman and you're unfaithful to her in private. I don't care how you shape it, I don't care how you say it, that's not okay. And I also, through this conviction, through this process, through this journey, the more that I matured in the spirit and the more that I've opened my eyes, because like they say, the greater the wisdom, greater the sorrow. Now that I'm in a space where I'm more whole, I'm more disciplined, I'm more focused on the bigger picture, those same women that I would look at through explicit content, I now want to pray for with my wife. So now one of my biggest dreams is when we have our church and we have an altar call, I want her and I to lay hands on them because I hate the fact that men point fingers at these women and objectify them in the same way, yet they're the ones I used to be, right? We're the ones keeping them in business. So I'm telling every man out here that wants to propose to their wife, that wants to get engaged, that wants to marry the love of their life, you cannot do it holding on to childish ways. When you were a child, you thought as a child, you spoke as a child, you conducted yourself as a child. But when you became a man, you had to rid anything that did not serve you. You have to rid every desire, every outlet, every person, every place, everything. If it does not bless you, if it does not help you, if it does not serve your future, you have to dismiss it in your present. Man, I'm telling y'all, I was only able to afford the ring that I had no money for and put on the proposal that I once envisioned that I didn't have the funds and the means to literally cover, all because I told God, I said, Lord, she matters to me. I love her. What I have is special and I'm not willing to give it up for a moment when this is literally for the mission. I'm walking into the season where I'm like, okay, I'm unashamed. Because I'll be honest, y'all, as a leader, as a pastor, as a young man representing Christ, and I have other young men come to me asking me questions about these things that I'm not even confident in sharing. I used to suffer with pornography. Bruh, I mean, the thought still comes in my mind. But I've realized if you do not channel that sexual energy into something productive for the kingdom, it will literally be your demise. So I'm grateful for my woman of God, who I was able to be real, honest, open, and transparent with, that loved me into evolution. Fellas, do not deprive yourself of growth. Your woman is your purpose partner. I guarantee if she's the right woman for you and you're honest and you confess your sin with her, she'll see you not as a weak man, but as a man who is in need of covering, a man who is in need of prayer and encouragement and accountability. I am who I am today because I was real. Bruh, I am engaged to the woman of my dreams. Fine as she is, as wise as she is, as bad as she is, as righteous as she is, as whole as she is. Mind you, she's an older woman too. I'm flexing. I ain't gonna lie, because God, man, I ain't boasting of my strength. Man, I am here by the grace of God. I am in the relationship that I'm in by the grace of God. I have what I have by the grace of God. I am who I am because of God. So I'm letting y'all know right now, for all of my men out there, I got engaged at 21 years old. I bought my girl the ring of her dreams, and I did it exactly how she wanted it to be done when I didn't think I could do it. But I'm telling you, I did it because that wall of sin had to come down. That mask had to come off. I had to be honest with myself and say, you know what? I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be in right standing with God. Because if you do not take care of that and you won't handle that in private, man, it's going to catch up with you, bro. It's going to catch up with you. It's going to be embarrassing. It's going to be humiliating. And you might jeopardize what God wanted you to sustain. But it's by his grace that you're still there. And it happened, and it may have happened again and again and again and again. But I'm telling you right now, if all my young men watching me that are inspired by me, man, you got to watch out for that flesh. Whatever you're feeding that is not of God, starve it. If you're not walking by the Spirit, you're walking by the flesh, gratifying the desires of the flesh. I feel better because it's just the beginning of my testimony. But that's where it starts. I wasn't a smoker, I wasn't a drinker, I wasn't a clubber. That was my sin. And now that that's out in the public, you might find yourself in my shoes. Dang, he literally does all of this. He's a comedian, he's a pastor, he's an actor, he's engaged, he's traveling, all these things. I was struggling. But we heal. Not by power, not by might, but through the confession of our sin and the blood of the Lamb. Be blessed and starve that flesh.